next song is a song I know Narciso liked a lot. Part of it is in Hindi, and another part of it is in Spanish. Another part's in Sanskrit. But you can just feel it through. And the part that's in Hindi is really beautiful. It basically says, how can I explain to you, how can I tell you? The words don't reach. Only my eyes can tell. Only can't really express it. Is that right, Anika?
Yeah.
I don't speak Hindi, so I'm fast.
I love you so much. How can I express my love?
That's it. I think we must all feel it.
El amor es una magia, una simple fantasía, es como un sueño que al fin lo encontré, es como una luz que se esparce por el alma y recorre como el agua hasta que llena el corazón. Que se mata en tu
reason that I came to this plan, I was going to ask my mother why she wrote it. Why? I don't know. For whatever reason, I never been attached to my previous thing. So what person my mom is my fault? For I didn't the reason that I came to this plan, I was going to this night was to do what I'm doing right now. Seeing, transforming people's life. Like I was your pastor where, North Carolina, very nice, probably, that I want to study political science. I took political science course, so I want to change this world for whatever reason or another. But again, like I said, I want to change the world, but not changing myself. But that's what we say, changing the world. Like I said, political science, I was doing my master, I started working with young people. My friend invited me, one song, why don't you come and do the day camp with us? And like I said, it was love at first sight. I started working with young people right away because of the relevance, what they went through and what I went through when I came to this country. This is the land of opportunity, everybody looking for something. But for me, it was, just like, that's my own thing. Like, helping other people, especially young people. I want to do something to make this world better. Young people need something else, not only, the academic. You need something more than that. How to manage your emotions, how can you go through? And like I said, so I became very passionate. How can you really help a young person transform his life on earth? And like I said, I was seeing myself too. Being the clown that I was in high school, because nobody told me to, Narcissus, you have to go this way. Until I have one teacher, Mr. Schumann, Alan Schumann, that put me to the side, you can make a difference in this world. I said, but that's what I want to do. Well, I didn't know. I didn't know, how to make a difference. Like I said, doing a difference, let me, do this, do that. Or the first thing that I start recognizing is start with me. I have to change myself in order to help change the people of the life. And that's something, like I said, that's why I find out like the youth empowerment seminar was so powerful. Providing these young people have techniques, providing tools that not only in school or in my house, I will be able to, be under control of my emotion, of my feeling, not everywhere that I am. It doesn't matter. In the most difficult situation that I could be, I still can use this life-saving jacket, put it on. I'm drowning, with my emotion, with my feeling, my days, the worst day of my life, I can use this, to help myself and help others. I don't know how to put it. It was something that I was looking since I was very, very small. Very nice, very young, like how to help other people. How, like I say, I want to, change the world to, politics, my idea was to be a college professor. I still have professors from college when they see like, oh, have you become a college professor? Because they know I was very passionate, but like I said, I found out something that is so powerful, it is so amazing in his life. And the good thing is, keeping connected with myself, also connecting with young people, not only with young people, with anyone. Because age, wisdom doesn't have no age. You can connect, you can be 2 years old, 18, 27, 67, and 50. Whatever age you are, you can connect with yourself. And that's, like I say, something that I'm very, I think for the rest of my life, whatever it is, I think this has been my goal. Fortunately, I found that, maybe I found that early, I wasn't prepared. Been doing this like we say, 17 years. Every day get better. Every day they get better. The people that I meet, with the people that I work, this young man, all the things, plus the student, the young people. I go also, I do this program, correctional facility. Young people are incarcerated it's amazing, like, the transformation. You see them, like, how they gain this freedom within their own mind. Not freedom to be outside, within their own mind. Like I said, I think that was my calling from the beginning. I stand for peace.
Dearest Narciso, the one and only Captain Cruz, Saint Ciso, Mr. Narciso, no choice, Cruz Espinal. You were a brother, mentor, colleague, father, friend, godfather, guide, and inspiration to all of us. Dearest Narciso, you are the definition of passion, dispassion, and compassion. Passion. Your commitment to the students, teachers, parents in our communities was the highest. Every day you jumped on the train for an hour and a half to ride, to be the first person there at the school standing outside greeting the students. You wanted to make sure that your smile and warm personal greeting was the first thing they saw and set the tone as they entered the building. In doing so, with this single gesture, with the way you walked the halls and acknowledged each young person and teacher by name, with deep respect and humor, you transform school communities. You are a model of what community building looks like. You gave the love and acknowledgement and offered the listening ear that everyone desires. You were relentless in showing up and offering authenticity. Wherever you were needed, Long Island to Newark, Bronx to DC, Texas to Latin America, you were there. Before school, after school, when a kid needed more help, when parents wanted to do yoga on Saturdays, you were there. When we thanked you, you tipped your head, opened your beautiful, strong, but gentle hands to the sky and said simply, no choice. You were in love with human beings and their infinite potential. Where there is real love, there is no choice. And so you showed up again and again and again. Dearest brother Narciso, you are commitment, and we will carry your commitments on, especially to the young people and communities you serve, the passion you had for mentoring Sky teachers, and your constant vision for centering harmony. We are in love with you and how you saw the world, and now we have no choice. It will happen. It will be done. This passion, your deepest commitment and your secret was your sadhana, your practice, the wealth which could never leave you, which you always honored. Many people meditate, do yoga, like wisdom, practice self-care, but you were your practices. You walked the walk and honored your practices above all until they became your nature, and you became their reflection, and the perfect instrument to transfer them to others. Before your long trip to the school each morning, you were up at 4:30 doing 108 sun salutations as part of your daily yoga practice, then sitting and doing sky breathing and meditation, and then on. When you showed up at school, you didn't even need to say a word. Your presence, joy, and peace said it all. You didn't have to convince anyone to learn something new because we all wanted what you had, what you were. You didn't have to teach because you transmitted. Your conviction, backed by what you modeled, said it all. This deep peace came from your absolute knowing that you weren't the doer. The universe has a plan which you are part of, that as much as you showed up and took complete responsibility, you could let it all go. From that incredible trust came an incredible strength and peace. You had no choices you needed to make. All was being done. You showed up and poured out love. Compassion. Your youthful strength and energy were a phenomenon, but your superpower was your heart. You gave people the highest gift possible. You helped them, all of us, to be and love ourselves. You did it by always seeing past the surface, past the behavior, past the mistakes, past the insecurities and all their expressions, and seeing our potential, our perfection, and reflecting it back to us. Look at you, you would say. You're so powerful, come on, you don't even know. Again and again, you saw our core and refused to let us look away from it or settle for our doubts or fears. For your teammates, you were everyone's cheerleader and our model of authenticity. You showed us what it looked like to be ourselves in any situation and relentlessly believe in our capacity. For your students, you did the same and more, meeting them in their hardest moments, their most vulnerable times, and seeing them instead of the situation and helping them to do the same. You took the kid everyone else gave up on and made sure they didn't give up on themselves. You helped them out of blame and shame back into pride possibility. You saw the beauty in all of us, and you helped us see ourselves through your eyes until they became our own. For the eyes and heart you saw us through, we are forever grateful. Your legacy is the tens of thousands of us who are able to be more compassionate with ourselves and others because of you. Dearest Narciso, we feel you, we carry you, you are always with us. Mr. Cruz, we are so deeply grateful for you.
It doesn't matter. It can be the more academically, inclined, and you very good responding, or the very low performance to the superstar in basketball, or wrestling, everybody is responding. Oh, I need to meditate. I need to create. Coming from themselves.
The sound was a little tricky, but at the end he was saying that it's getting bigger and bigger. There's no choice, it's getting bigger and bigger. And he's getting bigger and bigger. He's not here in our arms in the same way, but he's bigger and bigger around us. So now we'll hear from some of you. Some people will share a little bit about Narciso, and we'll be with him.
Really, we'd like to, maybe we can turn off our phones because Narciso likes mischief and he'll make them all ring. Narciso was one of the co
co-founders of Sky Schools, Yes for Schools, 20 years ago. One of the first teachers who brought this work into schools in New York. And along with him in that journey, starting this mischief and mishigas of love, was Mr. Billy Herman. Would you like to share some words? Not yet? Esther was a principal working with Narciso and has worked with him in the Bronx for years and seen his love with her staff and with her students. And she is a glow bug mirror of the man. So please help me in welcoming Esther Rodriguez.
I'll start off the message and then you add on, Bill. The way that everything started, right? You decide that you want to become a teacher because you want to change students' lives. And then you start working with the children who need the most love, the tough love. And that maternal love and paternal love. And you're in front of children every day who, what they want to do is test you to make sure that you love them. And they test and they test and they test until they realize that you're not going anywhere and that they can finally trust you. And then you see them accomplish things that they thought they would never accomplish. In my classroom, I had a lot of high school students, and when I saw Narciso at first, I thought, this is like one of my high school students, right? And I had students in front of me who had taken the state exam 16 times in algebra and hadn't passed the exams. Wow. And every time you were there, you try to teach them and they fight you because it's your fault that they have to learn math and we're gonna get somewhere because there's that love. But there's a lot more that goes into that building relationships, that goes beyond just teaching, goes beyond just communicating, and it's just in the essence of who we are inside that we make that connection. So Narciso would be the first to say, the children, you have to show them who they are, who you are in reality, because if not, they won't believe you. And they won't do this with you. So then I went to a middle school. Shanaz was my co-teacher. Well, we were co-teachers separately in rooms, but we worked together collaboratively, and we planned, and then we had some students who were really testing us. I had one who jumped on the radiator one day and just decided she was gonna play karate from the radiator. And so then it was a day of school trips. Everyone was gonna go on the trip. I know, only 3 minutes, okay. And in that school trips, all the teachers took all the students they wanted to take and left all the students they didn't want to take with Shanaz and I at the building. So you can imagine the kids didn't want to be there, and Shanaz already had a plan. And I'm like, I don't know what we're doing and why we're keeping kids that no one else wanted to take, but we're keeping them in the building. And she said, because we're going to change their lives. And we're going to bring yes to the youth empowerment seminar. And we did. And Narciso came in with Harry, and I will say that from the first day that there were about to be about 3 fights happening, all the kids were enjoying themselves and just working in community. We agreed that one day I'd become principal, Shanaz was gonna retire, and Narciso would return, and I was gonna have a school, and they were gonna need me, and it was gonna be an even more chaos. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about, but then fast forward a few years later, it wasn't a lot more chaos. But with that said, they came in, Harry came in, Narciso came in, Shanaz came in, and we worked with our children. And I will say this, they might not know what tools they were given on that day, but I guarantee in a few years they're going to really understand what that is, and that will change their lives. Because we get handed tools every single day, and we don't appreciate them until something happens in our lives that just changes things for us completely. And then we learn to appreciate who we get them from. And I will say that Narciso did that. He went on, he did it with each and every one of us here. He did it with our children in our schools, and I am very thankful, because he was always my calm in the midst of the storm. And I had a lot of storms. I had storms from my children, from my parents, from my leaders, from my superintendents, from everyone above. But I will say, in the midst of everything, there was calm, and that has been so transformative for the children and for everyone, every life that he touched. So I am thankful, and we'll just continue spreading the love, and this will continue on.
For the record, Esther Narciso never kept it to 3 minutes, so you're golden. You could give him 3 minutes and 15 minutes later, and smile at you. So speaking of superintendents, for the last decade plus, Narciso has been going out to Long Island, to Freeport schools, and working there with, I think, over 25,000 students that I calculated last that he got to teach. And for the Art of Living teachers here, think of that. About 25,000 in one district. It's amazing. And the superintendent from those school, Freeport schools couldn't be here tonight, but he really wanted to share a few words. And when I saw Narciso in the hospital, one of the few things that he said a lot with his spirit, one of the few things he said out loud is, Kishore is coming. He was really excited that the superintendent was coming to see him. So this is from Dr. Kishore Kanchan, the superintendent in Freeport schools. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, family and friends of our beloved Narciso. Today, as we gather here to remember and celebrate the remarkable life of Narciso Cruz, affectionately known to us as Ciso, I stand before you with a heavy heart, but also with immense gratitude for having had the incredible privilege of knowing this extraordinary individual for nearly 15 years. Ciso was more than just a friend or colleague, he was a strong beacon of humanity, a person who embodied all of the great values that we aspire to hold dear. His presence was a force of nature, one that could not be ignored by our students. When you encountered Ciso, you couldn't help but feel his warmth, his kindness, his positivity radiating from within him. He had a remarkable ability to light up any room he entered, to make every person that he met feel seen and valued. For over a decade, Ciso dedicated himself tirelessly to the betterment of Freeport students, staff, and our entire community. His impact on this place was immeasurable. As the superintendent of schools, I had the privilege of witnessing firsthand the transformative effect he had on the lives of those he touched. Ciso was not just a Sky teacher, he was a mentor, a friend, and a guiding light for countless individuals, both here in Freeport and around the world. One of the things that struck me most about Ciso was his ability to engage in meaningful conversations. Every interaction with him was an opportunity for learning and growth. I cherished every conversation I had with him, as he had an uncanny ability to provide insight and perspective that left a lasting impact. On behalf of Freeport Public Schools and the entire Freeport community, I want to express our deepest gratitude to Ciso. He dedicated his life to touching and transforming countless other lives, leaving an indelible mark on all of us. We are better because of him. We will forever carry his legacy in our hearts. In closing, let us all remember Ciso, not with sorrow, but with the love and joy he brought into our lives. We love Narciso, and his memory will continue to inspire us to be better, to be kinder, to live our lives with the same uplifting spirit that he so beautifully exemplified. Thank you, Ciso, for being the incredible soul that you are, and may your light continue to shine in our hearts forever. Our thoughts and prayers are with Christian, Narciso's son, Narciso's sister Anna, family, and friends. Thank you. Is this Kapazi? She's right there. for being with him.
Richard told me that I have to say something, and I really didn't know what to say. So I wrote a letter to Mercy, so which I'm going to. If only Narciso. If only Narciso had spent more time with you. If only I had asked you more questions. If only I had thanked you profusely. If only I had shown you how grateful I am. If only I had hugged you more. If only I had spoken loudly for all to hear what you've done for my students. If only I had confided in you. If only I had taken this friendship for granted. If only I had taken the time to pick up the phone and just chatted with you. If only I had dared to ask you personal questions. If only I had dared to ask you if you were not well in DC as you stared silently into my eyes. If only I had told you of all my scars. If only I had cried on your shoulders. If only I had borne my soul. If only I had cooked for you. If only I had taken a walk. If only I had held your hand. If only I had sat with you under a tree or on a beach. If only I had done mundane things. If only I had heard your wisdom. If only I had revered you more. If only I hadn't been that vagabond cloud, while you have always been that stream of water. I will always miss you. Thank you for everything.
As Narciso was in the hospital, his sister Anna was by his side in all moments. As he came into the world under her arm, she held him under her arm. That time, and Shanaz, you were also there, and you held her. He felt you very deeply. Would you like to share?
What I can say, I live in amor, in Allah. Then I would like to thank every one of you, really, because I think that I will be alive 72 years more, and this possible that Narciso is. I'm not going to understand that Narciso, it was like I share with you, and he born good, and we are abusing him, the women in the family, because he was so good, baby. But he was a gentleman always. And he was a man. This is something that I'm going to be missing a lot, because your brother and your sister you share things, no other people know, not even your mother. And he was like a 7 or 10. He broke it like, I don't know if you know it, in one of the hands, one of the fingers was like a little crooked. You never noticed that? Oh, he broke it up, that finger. And he wanted to go to the hospital. He wanted for me to go also with the people who I said, no, I'm not going to the hospital with you, I'm not going. He said, well, I'm going to take it like a man. And he didn't go. And he took that pain. He didn't go. He wasn't too wrong also. It wasn't good, but now like he took that pain like a man. Like, and he was like this 8 or 9 or something. I was so bad, really. Wow. But I want to thank everyone with you. Narciso was like the Superman, and for all he was Clark Kent. Who know about that? Like the other part of the superhero, we didn't know he was Superman. He always shared to me about the Sky School. I didn't understand. I went to many years ago, like 19 or 17 years ago, to do the breathing thing, and 23 most of the time to give me support, to breathe. Okay, Narciso. Even that I felt like doing that, it's better than doing marijuana. I didn't keep doing anyway. But something that I want to thank Saran first than everybody else, because that I was suffering. Because when I get there, October 9th to the hospital, immediately I see my brother. I know that he was dying, that he's not going to get out of there. Immediately. I went home, I told to my husband, hijito, Narciso is dying. Ay, tú siempre estás como... They go, no, he's not going to leave the hospital, believe me. I don't know if I can call Christian. I don't know what to do because the first thing that he told me, you know, that Christian doesn't know that I have cancer. That's the first thing that he said to me. You know, Christian doesn't know that I have cancer. Okay. What are you going to do? I'm going to go. 2 days later, I call you, Christian, your father, you have to come for your father. I was going just very on signing. But this is around. It's like somebody sharing that pain with me. I saw in the eyes that he was feeling what I was feeling, and with my brother in bed, you know, dying something. And then I said, let the other people live to take an Narciso in her arms and helping me to cope with my suffering, because I know he was dying, but I didn't think he was going to be dying so soon. You know, this is some kind of crazy and human. And I want to thank you for that, for loving him, for giving him the opportunity, the other living, to be the best human being that people can be. Let us rejoice in Narciso's life, because few people have in life what Narciso gave with the other living. That's being themselves. Narciso with the other living, he was like to give born again, to be who he really was or is. Because the other living giving him the opportunity. When he get cancer, like it's 11 years ago, the multi-myeloma cancer, I thought he was going to die in 2 or 3 years because my mother, that's what she has. And she died 3 years later with the multiple myeloma. But the other living giving us so many years with the strength, with the belief that he can overcome, ¿cómo se dice? Sobre that, her sinning. We are with the practices, with the whatever, with some meditation, because we're laughing about him, everything, and I wanted to share something that's very nice and personal. Ronnie, where are you? Ronnie? Where is she? Oh, one time I get to the hospital and she say, because she's like something out, that woman. She say, that's the sister that told you about the other living, and he say on her. Now she's the one who don't know what anything about that. God, Narciso. He said, no, she's the one who doesn't know to know anything about the other living. It was so funny, it was so funny. They go, oh my God. No, it's not like somebody asked me, that one asked me, no, what are you thinking about the other living? No, I have a lot of respect before this, no, a lot of respect for the other living. Because believe me, I know what the other living means. When I took the first course, I didn't continue, but I know the benefits to get to that practice, okay? But I'm gonna love. Don't expect me to be testing you because you know I have a learning disability. I have some kind of learning disability and I don't know how to read, I don't know how to write, I don't know how to talk, can't speak English, I barely can speak Spanish, but I keep surviving. But one thing that my brother was so proud of me, so honoring me, that's something that I felt so bad. I didn't know that he loved me so much. He had so much respect for me. He never was Narciso to me. He was my brother, my little brother. Listen to me, believing what I say. He was to me, what Harry was to him, always doing what I say. Harry always doing what Narciso said. That's what Narciso do. Always doing what I say to him to do. You know, you see, having the power to make him to do what I want to do. I have the power. And then I say, but you always going to be in my life. I'm only asking them, whatever you do, God, always do it for Christian. Send the Christian a lot of good vibes, good meditation, good, please. Because you always were doing that for us, for my girls. I have 3 daughters and my grandchildren. But at this day, being here, is one of my great day in life. I can compare this being here like the day that I have my granddaughter. Like the day that I have my granddaughter, I was like a crazy because I was like 60-something, I think 63 or 64, and I was so ashamed of all my friends having grandchildren and fulano grandchildren, and I didn't have it because my daughter getting, 40, 38, 29, and not, because when I had my granddaughter, I was, oh my God, but today is one of the great days of my life, to have all the love that you have for my brother. I can compare this day with the day that Ramona was born. I am so grateful because I know what is the celebration on Narciso's life in me for. Because the Hispanic people maybe doesn't know what you're doing for Narciso, but you're doing something beyond money, beyond only love can do this. No money, only love. Okay? Thank you. Narciso boy. Hey, you too. ¿Entendieron? Sí. Bio.
Christian, a lot of people have been bugging out when they see you. Because you have so much of your father's beauty. Yeah, he's a handsome guy. The last thing that I said in the body to your father, my last words to your father is, Christian's better looking than you.
You would disagree with that. What a guy. He was such an interesting guy, man. Before I get into my words, play something for you all. The last voice message I ever had from my father that he said something. To give you context, I was living in Sudan, East Africa, for a year and some change with my wife. And this voice message was left at 6:45 p.m., we have the time. And this was in May, so that means it would have been 6 hours ahead. So this would have been 1 in the morning that he's calling me and leaving me this voice message. Play this for you real quick.
Calling back, I said 5 minutes.
It's God, it's 1 in the morning, why are you? He called me yo, I'm not, I'm going to bed, I'm going to sleep. He's like, yo, no, just wait. So, yo, he's fighting an uphill battle right now.
Hey, Chris, just calling back, I said 5 minutes.
And it was a Friday too, which, over there, it's a Muslim country and their weekend is Friday and Saturday. So I'm yo, we've been out, it was a happy hour. I'm I don't know what you think is going on, but I'm tired. First and foremost, thank you everybody for being here. If you're here, that means you love Narciso, and he had love for you, and that means I have love for you. Because if you're a friend of my father's, then you're a friend of mine. So thank you. Pops could have been a lot of things. He was like my aunt said, when 2004 was a very, very big year for him, and he very well could have been a lot of things. Mm-hmm. But this is who he was, and this is what he chose to spend doing his life's work, and what he truly believed. And I see him from a very different, you see your parent, this is a parent. So I probably saw him different than anybody in this world. And just how I viewed any of his little anecdotes or any of the talks that we had, or, any of the different things and wisdom that he imparted in me over the years, man. And in hindsight now, here on December 2nd, 2023, view it a lot differently than I did even 2 months ago. The reality is my dad worked hard, and he worked hard up until the day that he ended up in the hospital. Mm-hmm. And that comes with sacrifices. It comes with sacrifices. And the very last conversation that him and I had the night before he died, I wrote a letter to him where I got it all off my chest. And he just sat there and listened and held my hand the whole time. Occasionally he was like, hey, give me some water. Occasionally he's like, hey, we're gonna talk about where my feet to. And he's like, well, keep talking. I'm like, all right, cool. And it is, and again, very true, not going into detail, but it was a very, him and I's relationship, not strained and not crazy like that, but just the history of everything. It was nuanced, and there was You know, my earliest memory of my father was when I was 7 years old. And he came to visit me in Tampa. And, you know, he's like, do you know who I am? And I'm like, yeah, you're my father. Like, what took you so long? Like, where you been at? And from there, fast forward, I moved to Massachusetts when I was 10. And at the time, when I thought was like, you know, my arc event in life, that turned out being the greatest thing that happened between my father and I. Because now instead of being in Florida, I was, you know, 4 hours away. And, you know, he could show up. And anytime there was anything big, whether it was a graduation, whether I played baseball, I played 1 year of baseball, like all the way up to 1 year at the community college. And I do 1 no-hitter in my whole life. And my dad was there when I did that no-hitter. And just so happened to be there, and I'm just like, you know, I'm gonna turn up and like, oh yeah, Pops is here. I'm like, oh yeah, it's over for these guys. And he was there for that. And he was there when I graduated high school, and he was there when I graduated college, and he was there when I got my master's. And he was there. And it didn't matter where he was, if he was in California, if he was in Canada, if he was in North Carolina. Whenever I needed my father, he was there. And he made sure that he was there in the best way that he can be. And those were the last words my father ever said to me. He said, I love you, my son, I did the best that I could. And I truly believe that. And again, my father could have been a lot of things, because this is who he was. And he was a wonderful man who was there for anybody who needed him, there for those who he loved, there for those who he didn't love enough. He always saw the good in everyone. And what a bright beacon of light in the community, and for helping those who are most marginalized. Like I literally never thought that I would reflect so much on my father. Like I worked in education, and I was a dean at a high school, and a lot of the way I handled my students were because of Pops. He's like, you gotta see the worst students, and you know, they're not the worst students. Like they're just misguided. They need a little love, and they need someone who's gonna care and be there for them. This is what I did with my young people. And, you know, again, what a guy, the man, the myth, the legend, Narciso Cruz. My middle name, by the way, my full name is Christian Narciso Cruz, so, you know, I'm named after him. And, you know, I miss him every day. I miss him every moment. And, you know, it'll be a random time where, like, I'll just want to call and just talk. And just, you know, Pops, you know, what would you think about this? Or what would you say? What would you do? So they're gonna be the things that I miss, but he's with us in spirit, and he will always be with us. And I mean, I need that video. That's whenever I need a good cry. You know, I want to see a video of that, and just to hear him speak and to see his voice. And you know, again, I thank you all for being here. I thank you all for loving and appreciating my father in the way that you all did. And again, if you're a friend of my father's, you're a friend of mine. And, you know, a friend of my aunt's also, and we're here. If you don't have my number, take my number, please. Always feel free to reach out. And again, thank you. And I'm grateful, Pops, you know, wherever you're watching, wherever you are, you know, you did the best you could, and that was always good enough for me. So, thank you.
I wanted to share something. In the back, we have 2 Narciso brothers, not from the other living, but was about the people who grew Narciso.
51 years.
January 24, 1971, at the Park Highways, 160th Street.
That's right.
And entonces, and he will be, doesn't matter the other living, or bleeding or something, they want to, it was a friendship. Or 4th of July, whatever he was with them.
That's right.
And he was in New York. He made sure to be in New York for the 4th of July because they celebrated in the here. Also, any of them need Narciso was there for them too. And somebody shared with me, like after you died, soul or whatever it was you, Amor? After you died, you. you share like after you die, your soul is in here for 41 days. Better something that get like you, me, and you are the same for Narciso. That's what you mean? That's what you say?
Yes.
Yes, and you and me, we have got sister of blood, and you guys, we are the same now in my brother life. Yes, it's an honor for me to share things with you guys.
Well, you guys are stuck with a much bigger family now. Sorry, Thanksgiving's turned up. 51 years, wanted to share anything?
Yes, story. Yes,
So maybe
that man
most
is
of them-
crying. That man was crying more than you guys. When he get to the hospital, he wanted to give Narciso her own life, to get Narciso out of there.
I wanted to pick him up and take him out of there.
He cannot do that.
We used to hold the 4th of July celebration. And I kept insisting to invite all of you guys. And some of you came over to our 4th of July celebration. Most of the time I used to be the organizer of the event. And I'm gonna try to insist the next 4th of July, we all gather the same way in remembrance of our brother Narciso. Like I said before, Narciso was my brother since I met him 51 years ago. In 1971, which is gonna be 52. In 1971, we first met at 160th Street. I remember I came to the United States before he did, 3 years before he did. And the thing that we all remember, there's about 40 of us. We're still friends. We grew up in the same block. And one thing that we remember Narciso for is that he came, like we all came, kind of hicks, you know. He came down with his plastic coat and a big hat with hood in the summertime. So wait a minute. What are you doing with that on? We're all here. So we found it really funny that he came down. And his sister told us that once he took off that coat that same day, he burned it. We remember him from all that time. Yeah. Hopefully, we're going, like I said, we're going to try to organize the event of the 4th of July event, and all of you are invited to come and share with us. Okay? Thank you.
Well, for many of us, if we think of Narciso Cruz, we think of Cruz Espinal Pops.
Espinal was my mother's last name. He loved my mother. Espinal. He never dropped in the Espinal.
Mama's boy. When we think of him, we think of Harry, because he dragged Harry all over the greater New York area for 15 years. On every subway, every train. Harry, anything you want to?
Yeah, I give it take to her and say, now I know why Narciso was so close to you, because you were thinking, nobody listened to our family.
Harry listened. Although eventually he said, I'm sick of this and got a Tesla.
I was so proud. No, I was 20. I only listened to people when I was 20 years old. Now I don't listen to him. From you guys, from my brother, and that we have so much told me that okay, he used to say, when you don't like somebody, get closer to him. Get closer to the people, take it to lunch. And this is something, even that way, we not communicate, is saying something, but that's what I supposed to say in my church to people when they home. So I don't like it, so I say, take it to lunch. Go closer to her, invite her to have coffee, and you will see that you will know a person, and then that feeling is really bad for you, to have a feeling that you don't like somebody. It's gonna change it, and this is like, he told me that today. Thank you for sharing this little thing with us now. And he really, we have a lot in common because of, I think it was, I have a son good in neighbors.
You're overflowing with it. So Harry, is that why he spent so much time with you? Because he didn't like you?
That's excuse me. It's Mr. Manga to you.
Oh, yes.
Just like it's Mr. Cruz to everybody else. Anyways, listening to all these stories, it's very, very touching. But also, I'm listening and I've heard all of these stories before. Like I've heard that story before, you know, with the jacket. And after that jacket thing, you know, after, you know, the plastic jacket thing, you know, he never dressed raggedy a day in his life after that. He bought new clothes. A lot of people don't know this. He used to shop 4 times a quarter. And he used to donate his clothes once every month or once every other month. So, and he never wore the same thing more than 6 times. And you know, the amount of, what is it? What do you call these? Tracks. That's his? How many does he have at home when you were cleaning that?
How many?
Yeah.
Roughly?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Say that loud.
Say the pile spread on the floor. That's probably up to like it's on the couch.
How many rows?
It's 3 rows on the couch and probably like if this was the couch, probably like up to every color.
He was getting around to donating them. Let's just put it that way.
He was sponsored by Adidas.
He was sponsored by Adidas. You wouldn't know it. But Narciso, I don't know. I mean, I've tried preparing. You know, this is the 3rd time I'm speaking about him. I don't know what to say, but I do know what he represented. And he represented somebody that's always lives and does the right thing. Something that we can all take away. Someone you know, his definition of integrity was who you are when nobody's watching you.
Yeah.
And so I leave that with you now.
Yeah.
So let's close the eyes for a second. Take a deep breath in. You can straighten the back if you wish. Breathe out. And just think of Narciso. And one moment that you spent with him. How does it make you feel? What did it make you think? What would you want to say to him right now? You know, there's a few of us coming up to speak, but, you know, I know if he had such a personal, intimate relationship with me, I mean, it was a bromance, obviously, but if he had such a personal relationship with me, I knew he had it with every single person he met. So think about what would you say to him right now? One thing.
You belong to me.
If you wish, you could say it out loud.
Thank you. Love you, Narcissus. Let's do it.
Take a deep breath in.
What can I do for you?
Let go. When you're ready, you can open the eyes. it. I leave you with your own relationship with Narciso. I had good time with him. You know, he lived, you know, talking to you and hearing so much about you and the boys. You know, those boys, you know, they're not only friends. It was a lifelong pact, you know. Because at the time he grew up, it was different. You know, it was a street crew. You know, you know what I'm talking about. It wasn't just your friend. No. We're gonna print the same jackets. You know, when we go out with the baseball bat, it's gonna have our logo on it.
No, they were supporting each other.
Yes, but Narciso,
To survive it.
one thing Narciso never did, even though he had a crew, is he would never engage, you know, in doing harm to others.
And don't let
Only in defense. Only in defense. There you go. I left that out.
Only in defense.
Yes.
How old were you when you met?
I think I was 20 when I met Narciso.
Can you talk about?
I'm 34 now.
Not many people get like inherit a father like you did when they're 20.
Well, if you looked at all those pictures, I'm going over 3 minutes, you know, as is custom for people that are closest. But if you saw those pictures, I just noticed myself, I'm looking up to him. In a lot of those pictures, I'm just looking towards him. But I realized that's exactly what he meant for me, somebody, an ideal role model.
Yeah.
And I was always looking, it's like, you know, you seek approval, you seek guidance.
Yes.
And he was the role model. That's it.
What did you most admire about?
I think I said it, I shared. He would never do the wrong thing, and when I was in his company, I would get re-inspired to get on my entire practice. You know, maybe it's been, I haven't seen you this weekend, you know, one of them was a rest day, another was a sleep day. Come Monday, time to get So,
And when you say that in our family, that's what I said, Lord, you are who you are when you are like the song.
yes,
That's
that was his thing.
That's the thing. And he was like with people outside, it could be rude or something, but when we all with the family, with my God, with me, always so caring, you know, never trying to hurt our feeling, we get like damaged, you know, we can remember any bad thing he did to me, or my girl, he always like gentle with us, like him. He could be
A
nasty
gentle
with you.
giant.
Yeah, nasty with you, but with us, always nice, for family.
33 years of living, he never, he yelled at me once in my life. 33 years, like, yelled, like, and it wasn't an angry yell, it was, I'm worried. Maybe it's because me and my cousin went down to Riverside Park. Actually, no, it wasn't because it was something else too, but it was because he was worried. And he used to run, and he was like, hey, stay where we see you. And me and my cousin, all I was like, yeah, forget that word, cutting out. And we cut out. And the bike I had didn't have brakes, so I used to have to brake with my shoe, and he had just bought me the shoe. So I think that's also why he was upset. He's like, I just bought you these shoes, like, what are you doing? I'm like, yo, I gotta stop, you know, it's traffic, it's a street.
Why you can't take the shoe off?
You had to sit in the hospital when you forget about it. I'm gonna tell your mom. So, no, 33 years, never yelled at me. When I learned how to drive, like maybe like the second month of me driving, he came up to Massachusetts to visit me. And very distinctly being in the, I remember my mom, like, to get both of them together in the same place was like rare. And this is one of those rare moments where they're in the car, like, you be driving around. And like, my mom is going off on me because I just ran a red light. And she's like, yo, you see the red light? Like, what's going on? And he just looks and he's like, yo, I don't know what you're gonna do. I'm like, yo, what do you mean? Like, yo, help me talk to you. Like, nah, man, you gotta figure it out. Talk to your mom. And, you know, he ended up calming. I don't know what he said to her, but she ended up calming, just calm. So, no, he never hurt or purposely went to like be after anybody. And even with me, you know, raising me, he was that's not how he was. He was just like, if he was disappointed, he would tell you he was disappointed, but he'd be like, oh, you know, I love you and I support you and we'll figure it out. And never yelled.
Yeah.
Always.
And you don't know this. He never went to Dominican Republic. He was so afraid to fly. He was so afraid to fly. He goes to Chicago by train, by bus. He goes to Florida by bus, by train, anywhere. And then the other baby, are you to India? What? What are you going to walk there? You're going to And I didn't know that they could reach to go to.
So, before I pass it to Bill, I think one thing I realized is that Narciso had a full life with a couple marriages before he came to the Art Living. So you have to understand, he was, Annalise said this at the Mass, he was really a saint. Yeah, because he had no, except for sugar, he had no desires left. He had nothing to get great.
Even the priest of my church.
But
the priest of my church say that. He said, it's too bad that he wasn't Catholic. He did us a good thing. He could be a saint.
It's true. And I think his presence only got stronger.
Yeah.
Only got stronger. And, so there will be moments where I would just ask him. I knew we had I don't know, if you're a facilitator, you know how it is, you team teach, most of our programs. So we would have 3 or 4 facilitators lined up, and I would just invite Narciso. He didn't know this, and I never told him, but I knew every endeavor he was a part of was blessed.
Yeah.
And at least the last 10 or 15 courses he was on with me, I knew it. And I know other people, sometimes he talks a lot or this and that, but I knew him being in the space was more valuable than having an elite co-teacher, because of all the small things during the break times, after the class, remembering if there was 100 students, he would know every student's name. And he wouldn't even memorize them after class or get a roster. No, in class, when he hears you, he does something. He does whatever he needed to do to make sure he knows me. Thank you so much.
So, you understand what art of living represents. The founder, Gurudev, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, he set up a structure. He set up a system of mirrors around the world so that people could come and see themselves. You understood this because you saw yourself. You said, I can do this for thousands of young people that need this so badly. They just need to see themselves. Let me be that mirror. And let me follow the model that I have and be authentic. Trust my intentions and my love and whatever I have, whatever I've been given. That's enough for my life. Be this mirror for everybody that comes in front of me. And he saw that, that quote about you can build a child. It's easier to build strong children than to repair broken adults. That's the most efficient way to make a difference, as he says. As he said so beautifully. He wanted to make a difference. With whatever capacity he had, with whatever he had. And he had it all because his heart was so pure. So innocent. All those children saw him, and then they saw themselves. He saw his smile and his love, and he felt his nurture. You see, so you have taught me so much. which isn't work. It never felt like work with him.
I just want to share what keeps coming up for me. So, for those of you guys who don't know me, my name's Juan. I taught with Sky Schools or Yes Team for a few years here in New York. And what keeps coming up for me in my heart is just that I feel like Narciso was, through teaching, you know, we learn all these points, we learn how to articulate, and there's all these technical things to do, but I feel like Narciso was always playing a different game completely, him and Harry. It wasn't that game. It was just being there with whoever was there, you know? And I felt like he was there just with me, whatever I was doing. When I was excited, when I played music on stage for thousands of people, he said, "All right, Mosquera, yeah." And then when I wasn't up there, he said, "What are you doing? Get up there." He was just a cheerleader, you know? He felt like a father to me because he would walk in the room and I knew what he was going to say to me. I knew his face would light up and I knew he'd say, "Hey," you know, like that warm greeting. I just felt like it's like family. And I saw everybody feel like that when he walked in the room. Everybody felt that connection with him. And I think he just taught, like, love is the most powerful force. When you just lead with your heart, the words don't matter. Nothing else matters. Because you could say all the intellectual knowledge, you could say it perfectly, but who do you remember? Who do you show up for? It's the person who shows up for you. It's the person who recognizes, remembers you, who cares for you. When you're at your highest peak, they're celebrating with you. And when you're having a hard time, they're right there with you. You know, when I left New York, I was kind of in a rough space in my own life, in my own mind, and I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. And I remember Narciso was one of those people who he didn't understand. He tried to talk to me, tried to ask me questions, but I just remember him sitting with me. And I just felt like, I'm with you. Nothing else matters. I'm here with you. And I always felt that. I always felt like he was a part of me. So, and he just had this incredible ability to just show up for you. And for me, that's what he was. You know? When I first got to New York, I was having a hard time. I was away from my fiance. I was away from my family. I was overwhelmed by the big city. And he came, and I can't believe he called me, and he came and he met with me. And just that act felt so special to me, that he actually physically came. And that was so important to me. It was just one time. That's all it took to make me feel like, okay, yeah, I'm supposed to be here. And even if he couldn't physically come, I could tell he wanted to. There are so many times he just said, "I'm coming to visit you, I'm coming. No, we're gonna get you a gift for your son. We're gonna get you all these things." It's so generous with his, in so many ways, you know. And when he wanted you to know something, Alan, come on. That's what he would do, right? He would walk around and look at every person and just connect. So I'm mostly sharing this for myself. Because it's hard to come to terms really what he meant to me. But I just know in my heart that he was very important, he was special. I think probably all of us have some feeling of that. I don't know why he meant so much to me, but he just did. So thank you for letting me share.
Come on up. In a moment, we're going to go down and share with each other as we eat. But if anybody has a burning share for the room.
Yeah, just real quick.
Thank you. Thank you. Just hearing everybody share, especially Juan's last share, I realized, I work with people now, and often a conversation that comes up is we're so mean to ourselves, and the things that we say to ourselves in our head, we never say to other people, and we put up with self-abuse over and over and over again. And at some point, we learned this from some, maybe it was a parent, or maybe it was a teacher, or whatever. We've internalized this like negative self-talk. And I think what I've been trying to put my finger on what it was about Narciso that helped me feel so loved. And I think Harry inherited this quality as well, which is Narciso would put, so if I would tell him something like that I was, I'm no good at this, or it's gonna go really bad, or whatever, I'd have like my negative talk, he would say, no, that's nonsense, like, this is where you're supposed to be, and it was like the exact positive parenting that I needed to have for myself. It was like positive self-talk. It was the positive. It was the other side, and Harry does this so well, and I think I'm guessing that it's probably because of CISO, and I'm just so grateful for that. So that's what I want to share.
Mama Paulette, everyone. Reverend Mama Paulette.
First thing my children call me, Reverend Mama. I think the meaning that we take from this is that every time we think of Narciso, we don't think of not only of what he did, but it is another reminder of his belief in us, and therefore an inspiration for us to keep doing it. Like, I can't think of any greater tribute than for us to do what he encouraged us to do. That every time we think of him, we are inspired to do more. Because that's what he always did. He came in the room and he said, you could do this. You could do, you don't need anything else. You don't need money. You can do this. Just see how those children felt when you were leading them in meditation. Or you just did it. So we can do this. In Narciso's memory, we can change the world.
We have no choice, and it will be done.
Thank you, Lon, for emceeing and holding the space for almost a month for this to facilitate this happening. I know Richa, and I know the New York City Art of Living family, but I think you really held the space for him to be honored and celebrated. So thank you.
Let's give a big round of applause for the New York team that has been holding this space. I think we can all relate with the unknown territory right now of showing up in spaces where he won't be in the body. Because as everyone's been sharing, just always showed up. He was there, always, and with us, encouraging and supporting, reflecting, always. So it's been really beautiful this last month. It was amazing to me how in his passing he did it again. How did he do that? He brought us together in the most remarkable, beautiful way. He let us see him. He didn't create any space. He wouldn't tell us a damn thing because it was pride. No, but he let us in completely. And we got to be with each other and see him and see each other. So we keep that going. That Narciso abrazo popular. He ended every course with a group hug. The abrazo popular party. Maybe we'll close out tonight at the end after dinner. So Narciso loved his sugar. So we'll have to eat. He also loved his meditation. So we'll have to take one moment. Is that okay? We sing one song and take a moment to sit. So we'll have our mighty maestros give us a song, and then we'll chant a quick song called Puja. This is a song that Narciso sang often. It's a song of gratitude. Puja means that which is born out of fullness. So just from our hearts, from our fullness, you can chant along if you know it, or just sit and be with him in silence.
So while the musicians get set up, it's incredible to me that in spite of so much effort and attention and energy that went to students, Narciso was also with the whole New York community. As we did events for Gurudev, as we went about our Saturday Kriya sessions, and personally for me, like when I was new to the art of living, I came for the first time to the center, there was chaos at the center. Like there was a rock band, there were dancers twirling, and in all of this chaos, my eyes, for the first time when I went in, it went to Narciso. He was leading like a bunch of people in yoga. And all that chaos didn't affect him. He was like just laughing and smiling and leading and had the attention of everybody. And for me, the first time I saw him, I was like, this is remarkable. Like, this is amazing. And then over the years, like he always had a special connection with everybody he met, and he always took the time to say something that was unique, that touched you. And he was remarkable. I mean, my last hangout session was with him was putting up posters for Gurudev's visit. And he didn't leave one nook and corner untouched. Like, anywhere there was space, like he would put the poster up. He was so much in love with Gurudev. I think Billy said it, he was truly like a representation and a mirror for all of us. So, to him.
Oh, when the saints come marching in, oh, when the saints come marching in, oh, how I want to be in that number. Oh, when the saints come marching in, oh, when the saints come marching in, oh, when the saints come marching in, oh, how I want to be in that number. Oh, when the saints come marching in. Radhe Govinda, Radhe Gopal, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Gopal.
comfortably, joyously, with a full heart, full of Narciso. Now, Julia, please join.
Yasam Shukam